Okay. I think we are live.
Excellent. Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover.
Well, just
I'm
right
Randy
into
Dickinson. Yeah, are we going to jump in? Or do you want to do it previously on?
I don't know. Previously on Video Game Hangover. What happened last week?
Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing.
Sounds about right.
Probably, yeah. I'm Randy Dickinson, and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I should look at the camera. I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California. That's what I usually say.
Each week, circumstances have not changed, right? You're still... Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard on the news about California, you can't go anywhere, so...
Yeah, they've, barricaded my door, actually. I'm stuck here.
Rightfully so. I've been sending calls and emails and text messages trying to get them to do that for years now, so...
Yeah. Oh, don't barricade my door?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, Merry Christmas.
Excellent.
They did
it finally came true. Yeah. Each week on Video Game Hangover, we usually talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week, however, we are wrapping up yet another year of casting pods by taking your text messages, voicemails, emails, Discord, direct messages. What else? Smoke signals.
Smoke signals.
Yep. Carrier pigeon.
I don't know.
Send a raven.
Send a raven.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We're going to do those things while we drink adult beverages. Here's my adult beverage. Here's adult beverage number one.
Was that you got like a Baja Blast?
It's a blue thing. It's called a Blue Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a festive holiday drink. I have a festive holiday shirt.
Yeah, you're looking very festive. You've got
I forgot about the hat that is itching the hell out of me.
Leopard skin Santa hat. Interesting.
Yep. So Blue Christmas.
Excellent. Is that a real thing?
I don't know. There's a distillery in Harrisburg that has been doing takeaway cocktails to try to stay afloat, obviously, in 2020. And they post their menu on Facebook every week, and they usually have 4 or 5 different options. And you just pull your car up to the side of the distillery and tell them what you want, and they bring you cocktails to your car.
Oh, that sounds legal.
It is, well, it's one of the few things that is permitted in Pennsylvania this year. So,
what is drinking in your car?
No, they have, I don't know if you can see, there's a little seal on the top that says secure. And you can't break the little seal until you get home with your adult beverage. And then you can consume it, any way you want. So
it's just, it's impossible to break that seal until it knows when you pull into your driveway.
It is really, really tough to get the sticker off. We keep trying to jam straws through it, and it doesn't want to do it. So, I mean, it's a relatively tough sticker, but yeah, I mean,
that's good.
Really not a lot of things to stop you from sort of pulling into the parking lot of the Burger King and, enjoying your beverages, but, totally not legal.
One of my friends lives in New Orleans, and I think this is accurate. He says that there are places where you can get like a drive-through margarita, like a drive-through, and they just hand it to you, and it's legal because they leave the little paper end of the straw on the end. So it's like, don't take off that paper.
The little straw condom on the end. Yeah. I've been to New Orleans once, and we never got drive-through beverages, but there were walk-up windows at the bars, which I had never seen in my life growing up in Connecticut and New York. That was not a thing that happened at bars in Connecticut. So they just had it, you could go into the bar and order at the bar if you wanted, or if you're just kind of rolling down the street, they had a window facing the street where you could get a hurricane or whatever and carry it down the street with you while drinking.
Well, that sounds great. That sounds very convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. There were also a lot of bars that we wanted to go to that had a sign outside that says, "We open at 10 p.m." And I'm like, open at 10 p.m.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah. Because I think they stay open until like 6 a.m. in New Orleans. So, the party was just starting at 10 and, by 8:15, ready for bed. So, didn't see a lot of those clubs.
Oh, well. I would love a walk-up window.
Yeah.
Where are we? What are we doing?
What are we doing? This is our year-end Drunktacular. We are wrapping up. Is this our 10th year?
I was trying to figure that out. I think we started. I don't even know. We started in 2011 or 2012, I think. So it could be our 10th year. I have lost track of things. I'm not even drunk yet.
This year alone, I think, accounts for at least 3 years.
Yes, we've been doing it for at least 3 years in 2020 itself.
Right.
So,
And yeah, and this has become sort of an annual kind of holiday tradition where we ask the members of our community to send us their calls and questions and emails and all of those things I mentioned before. And, we drink some beverages and take your questions.
Yeah. That's how it works.
That is a thing we are doing. Yeah. Oh, we have somebody in the chat who clarified that we started in 2011.
Started in 2011. Oh, thank you. That's our resident historian. Started in 2011.
They just crawled up from the archives and clarified that point for us. Yeah.
Excellent. So does that mean, I don't know how time works. That means a 10th year or a 9th year?
This would be our 10th year, right?
10th year. Oh, well, amazing. We should have done something.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We are wrapping up our 10th year.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Shut it down. That's too many.
That's what? That's the golden anniversary, right?
I thought that was 50.
Oh, geez, I don't know.
We got a while to go. I don't know what 10 is. 10 is probably like sandpaper or something.
I mean, coming out of 2020, I can't afford to buy you a gold present, DJ. So,
okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take a rain check.
Excellent. Good. I'll see you in 40 years. But
ominous.
We did notice that we are live streaming this year for it feels like the first time. DJ, you said we've done this before, but I don't recall us doing this.
We did it once. Yeah, I think that is also hilarious. Because we did do this a couple years ago. And it was fine. We just didn't do it again for whatever reason. But now we're here. Yeah. Now we're back.
But now we're here. Now Twitch is this ominous thing in our lives that we cannot ignore.
Yeah.
And everything we love in 2020 has gone on Twitch suddenly. Like all the DJs that I like who play good music are now streaming 2 nights a week on Twitch. And the trivia night that I used to host is now hosted by somebody else on Twitch. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening, and it seems to all be happening on Twitch. So
why aren't you hosting it? Why, if it's the same trivia night, why don't you go and fight that guy?
Well, it's a yes, just fight for trivia dominance. No, it's a big company, and they had to downsize pretty significantly, obviously, when all the bars and stuff closed. So they just kept a few employees on, and they still stream trivia a couple nights a week.
Only the essential trivia workers.
Yes, exactly. Those frontline workers hosting trivia for the rest of us.
Man.
Yeah.
Doing the good work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you want to do some trivia, look for Geeks Who Drink on Twitch. They're a good time.
I'm just, don't mind me. I'm just playing with my hat. For those people listening to the podcast version, I'm wearing a very festive Santa hat, I think.
Yes, as am I, and I feel the heat. It is hot in this hat. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. Yeah,
this might be a short one this week.
Yeah.
It's a little warm in here. Before we get into the calls, you talked about your drink. I wanted to let everybody know that I officially cracked open a hot one, as we decided. I've got... what is this? It's a mulled cider, which I did on the stove, which was nice, and it's got a little. Let me get my visual aid. It's got a little of this in there. I've been meaning to try this one for a while. This is a Suntory Toki.
Nice.
It's like it feels like it's maybe a little too nice to be a mixer.
What is that? Is that like a plum wine?
No, it's just a whiskey.
Oh, you said whiskey. You did say the word whiskey. Yeah.
It's a plum whiskey. It's no, it's good though. It works well with the cider.
Excellent.
I feel like it's a little arbitrary. I feel like you just toss anything into a cider, but
sure.
It's good.
And the sugar would just cover it, right?
Yeah, the sugar I'm a little worried about because generally alcohol and sugar does not work great for me. I don't know if that's like a thing for everybody. I tend to get a headache, but we'll see how it goes.
No, my go-to bar drink for a long time was like a Bacardi and Coke. So yeah, I kind of like some sugar with my drinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit, but like I don't know. The recipe was like, if you like, you can add some brown sugar to it. I'm like, no, that sounds like I'm gonna have a bad time.
This tastes like a melted popsicle. So I'm just getting.
It looks like a melted popsicle.
It looks like Windex, right?
Yeah.
It's got a blue cherry in it.
That's not real. That's not a thing.
What I don't know. It said it on the menu board, and I went, okay, sure, it's Christmassy. But
okay,
yeah. It's vodka, blue curacao, white grape peach juice and this cherry.
The cherry is really doing the heavy lifting in that cocktail.
But yeah, like one of those little tube frozen things that you freeze. You crack off the little packet.
Like an Otter Pop.
Flavor ice, yeah.
Flavor ice.
Yes, or Otter Pop. And it tastes like a melty one of those.
Well, it's been a long time since I had one of those things. But maybe there was vodka in it.
Maybe we've been missing that all along.
Maybe that was the key. Maybe I should have been asking my parents, just like, Otter Pops love them. How about some vodka?
How can you serve that without vodka? Yeah. I would like to speak to the manager. Oh,
I don't know if you remember, but 10 years ago, apparently, when we did our first one of these, I had a blue drink, which was not great, but it just became kind of like, I don't know, the quintessential overindulgent drink in my head. It's like, oh, that blue drink, that was gross.
We've got some folks in the chat who are wishing us holiday tidings. So shout outs to our official historian Obi Hyde, as well as Amber Sands and Eshin for saying hello in the Twitch chat. So
hello,
guys. Hello. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, we are of course going to make you download this episode again later in the week and listen to it again. So, you know.
Yeah. Real astute listeners will be able to point out all the differences between the live version and the studio version.
Just some selective editing here or there.
Yeah.
All right. So we should jump into, our first call, right?
We should get it started, yeah.
Hey guys, it's another year of the Drunktacular, 2020. This is Eric, otherwise known as Cube00. Figured I'd give you guys a call. So let's see what's going on. Randy. It was great to see you at PAX East this year before everything shut down. That was the last time I really went anywhere. But let's get on to the fun. Let's talk about some questions. If you could own one home arcade game, what would it be? Second question. Is there a TV series that you can watch over and over again and never get tired of? I would say for home arcade, maybe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Simpsons, or Sunset Riders. TV series, I would say I could watch The Sopranos over and over again. Well, guys, here's hoping 2021 gets better and keep producing those podcasts.
Excellent. So, hi, Cube.
Hey.
Hey, that was our buddy Eric, who has hosted this show a few times in the past, and as he mentioned, was hanging out in Boston this year at PAX East. Man, every time I think about going to a convention with 300,000 gamers this year, it blows my mind. Because,
really cutting it, that one.
Yeah, it was March, like first, second, third, or something like that. So it was just right on the edge of the meltdown. I remember sitting in a taxi, I think, coming from the airport to my hotel in Boston, and there was something I was listening to on the news that said the first case was just detected in the United States, and I was like, oh this is going to be so scary. And of course, all of the, many of the vendors had backed out of PAX at that point already, and there were just gallons and gallons of hand sanitizer everywhere on the show floor. It was a very scary thing, and I think we're all very lucky to have experienced it. So, that was crazy.
Yeah, I did not go to PAX this year. I mean, I haven't been to PAX in a long time, but I didn't even go to Seattle this year, so that was something. Or it wasn't something, I guess.
that was nothing.
Yeah, that was nothing.
But Cube's question for us: if you could own one home arcade game, what would it be?
It's a good question.
Do you aspire to have like arcade cabinets in your house?
I don't think so. I mean, do I? It's not really on my list, but if somebody like showed up at my door and was like, "Here, take this," I'd thank you.
Clear out a corner for it. Yeah,
find somewhere for it to go. Yeah.
I think just any video game I would want to play is on a console, right? Or probably on my phone. So the need to have sort of giant video game consoles in my house, I don't itch for that.
You're not much of an arcade guy back in the day.
I was. I mean, that was certainly when arcades sort of presented experiences that you couldn't get from a home console. I think maybe that's been the struggle for like Dave & Buster's. Well, other than 2020 obviously being a struggle for Dave & Buster's, but like their big challenge is to sort of create experiences that you can't replicate on a phone.
Yeah.
So everything at Dave & Buster's is like VR headsets and you and 20 of your friends playing, Pac-Man and stuff like that. So it's crazy giant, big gaming experience. It's not your standard, your old fashioned kind of shooter game.
So I think that's the way to go with this question. If you're going to get an arcade machine, I know a lot of people like Street Fighter 2 is a popular one just because everybody loves Street Fighter 2. But yeah, you want something that you can't play on a console, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point of arcades anyway, like you were saying.
I don't know. So I always get super excited when they have like those home remodel shows and they show a room with a pool table in it. I'm not good at playing pool, but like, the dream of having a home big enough to actually have a giant pool table and have people over your house to play pool with you. I think that would be a lot of fun. I would like a pool table. And to that end, maybe a pinball machine, because that's one of those things that, as much as video games have tried to sort of replicate pinball in the past, I don't know, it never quite feels the same as actually, the big chunky, like noisy machines.
Yeah.
I would take a pinball machine. I would take the X-Files pinball machine.
The X-Files? Okay. We're
that I remember
closer
fondly from my college years. I think we've narrowed this down. Yeah, absolutely.
I knew there was an answer in there somewhere.
Yeah.
We found it. Okay.
That was long way around. Yeah.
I like the pool table idea too. That's a little, out of left field kind of. But I think that's valid if you're going to have like a game room.
Yeah. I mean, for somebody who's spent most of their adult life living in like 1-bedroom apartments, like the pool table just feels like this like completely unimaginable luxury, right?
got everything I need. I got a pool table. I've got my single, my twin bed or whatever, and I've got my George Foreman grill, and that's all.
Right, exactly. And your hot pot, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think for the longest time I would go like my favorite answers to this question were either Point Blank, which was a light gun game, the best, and then the other one was Prop Cycle, which is I think I've talked about this before, but it's like the cabinet is like a bicycle that you pedal, and it's kind of on a gyro or whatever. Yeah, so that's fun. But now my answer is just I would love to have a Groove Coaster arcade cabinet in my apartment. That would be incredible. Because that's one of my favorite music games, and the arcade version is amazing.
And you play that at home. There are home versions of that, right? It's just not
the
same experience.
There are a few versions of it, but yeah, the arcade version is just transcendent, and I wish I could go to the arcade and play it, but it's not been a great year for that.
So is that your 2021 wish list? Is your first act post-vaccination is Groove Coaster in an arcade?
To go to the arcade? Yeah, I'd love to go back to that. That's probably pretty high up there on my list. Yeah. I don't know when I'll feel comfortable doing that, but that would be great.
Excellent. And then Cube had another question for us. What was it? I got the wrong window open.
He says, if there's a TV series you can watch over and over again and never get tired of, what is it?
Man, I have done some of that this year.
Yeah, seriously. How about you can't name one that you've already watched this year? I think that that eliminates all of my answers is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I have like comfort food TV series that I have put on repeatedly this year. So that would be Scrubs, Community, 30 Rock. What is the other one I watched? I like Happy Endings. I think that's a really good show that not a lot of people have seen. So I would recommend that. That's a good sitcom. There's a lot of really like joke a minute, rapid fire, super funny TV shows that, I've seen every episode 1,000 times, and it's just like a warm, comfortable blanket over me. And it feels so nice just to have sort of, Liz Lemon and her gang of merry idiots in the background. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, not a lot of dramas. Dramas I think are hard for me to sort of rewatch, but if we catch an episode of Breaking Bad on, or BBC America occasionally does like X-Files Saturdays, and I'll fire up the TV and there's 12 hours of X-Files on, and I'm like, well, I guess we're doing this today. House, I've seen every episode of House 1,000 times, and I never get tired of the melodrama in that. So there's a few, I guess, then that I would watch.
It sounds like you have a list, yeah. I just finished watching or doing an X-Files rewatch, I guess. Not the entire thing, but I watched it until like season 6, which is after the movie, and like where it starts to decline. noticeably. So it's like, that's enough.
Duchovny occasionally shows up and
yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that show. I could always go for some Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's but I'm breaking my rule because I have also watched that this year. I don't know. It's been a long time since I watched 30 Rock or like Arrested Development. It's one of my favorites. So I probably go with one of those. But like Star Trek for sure. I keep coming back to that. That is always like the safe choice for me. I've been watching that third season of Star Trek Discovery. It is not going well. It's making me wish I was just watching the older shows.
That's the new one on CBS?
That's the new one. Oh, they don't make them like they used to.
Have you watched the what's the animated Star Trek?
I watched the Lower Decks. Yeah, I watched one episode of that, and I just felt like it was so it was like too much for me. There was just like too much going on. Everybody was just so frenetic. It's a really good concept though, so I kind of want to go back to it. I just didn't care for the delivery, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know. There is. I think you and I have talked about this, maybe not on the podcast before, but there is an animated sort of sitcom-y version of the X-Files in the works.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't. It's not a good idea.
Haven't seen a scene of it, and we don't like it. Yeah, it's called the X-Files Albuquerque, and they're like the B team. They take the cases that Mulder and Scully didn't want to take, and it's animated, and it's the team that did Brickleberry on Comedy Central. And like the more I learn about this, the more I'm like, this is going to be a disaster.
I'm just like, at this point, why would you make that? Why does it need to be an X-Files branded thing?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's just like, I don't feel like it's going to please a lot of fans of the alt show. I feel like it's probably not even targeted towards them. So just call it something else.
Yeah. I don't know who 25 years later is like, oh, finally an X-Files that's animated on Sunday nights.
Like cartoon sitcom that I always wanted.
Yeah, I need this on Sundays, right between Bob's Burgers and I don't know, whatever the hell else. This Family Guy is inevitably still on, I'm sure. So, it seems like a weird proposition to me. And
like, I should give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe it'll be good. That's a funny premise, but just seeing the execution on the Star Trek one, I'm like, I don't know. Some people seem to like it, but it's not for me.
We have some agreement in the chat on happy endings and Arrested Development. So,
good.
Yeah, there we go.
Good. I should do an Arrested Development rewatch soon.
Yeah, I've not seen that since it first aired. I don't think I ever marathoned that. I've not seen the newish ones on Netflix either. So yeah, that's going way back.
The new one's not great, if you ask me.
Again, that's kind of why I didn't watch it. So
I know some people who like them, but whatever. We have a little Q posted a follow-up question in the Discord. It says, do you have any holiday traditions or holiday food that you really love? Well,
this melty popsicle drink.
The melty popsicle drink.
Holiday traditions. I mean, certainly Thanksgiving and all the things that go with it. Mashed potatoes, gravy, all of that fun stuff. Christmas time, though, I don't know. We never had like a go-to family Christmas meal. I have fond memories of my mom making like lasagnas some year, and some years it was a ham. And then like as I got older and I had like a bunch of stops I had to make on Christmas Day, brunch would be at my mom's house, and she would make, just amazing just courses of awesome brunch foods, which you really can't go wrong with.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I don't know if I have I've been vegan for a long time now, and I still love eggnog. So I'm glad that there are quality eggnogs on the market that are vegan. Silk nog, eggless nog, all of those things are good. And I bought my first bottle of a carton of eggless nog this year, and I just uncapped it and smell just the nutmeg and I don't know, whatever that weird sort of combination of things that make it a nog are. That's so good.
It's I used to make eggnog every year, and it came up multiple times, like, why do they call it nog? And I remember looking it up, and I can't remember why. But it always amuses me that it's like egg plus this word that nobody knows what it means.
And nothing else is a nog. Like there
are no other nogs.
Yeah. There's no, like, I don't know, pancake nog.
No chocolate nog.
Waffle nog.
Yes, true. They're just all beverage versions of breakfast foods.
VGH 474 waffle nog.
Yeah.
How about you?
How about me? Well, so my family would usually do like the little Christmas get together. We do the Thanksgiving thing. Probably not going to do it this year just because that's the responsible thing to do. Something I just like doing for myself is during the holidays. I don't like to travel that much just because it's crazy. But I would go up to, I live like 30 minutes south of San Francisco, so I would just like book a hotel room for an evening and just like go to a movie or go to some restaurants or whatever and just like hang out and stay at a hotel afterward, so I don't have to drag myself way back down the peninsula. Which was super fun. Also, probably not going to do that this year. But I feel like that might be okay. Like, staying in a hotel, I don't know what like their policies are as far as like infection and sanitization.
Yeah.
But, you know, just to be on the safe side, probably not going to do it. Which is a little sad. I don't even know if I'm going to go up to the city. Like, the whole state is kind of on lockdown again at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to be doing. But, yeah, probably not this year. It's been a weird year. I don't need to tell anybody.
Yeah,
what's going on.
I have, Sarah's family does Chinese food. Her mom works in healthcare and typically works some part of any major holiday. So rather than cooking a giant sort of multi-course meal on major holidays, her family always orders just buckets and buckets of Chinese food. And there's really no good Chinese food in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Like, we've tried every Chinese restaurant. We've gone outside of the city. There's just none to be had. So we go back to Connecticut and it's sort of like, what do we want? We want Chinese food and we want bagels because you can't get those in Pennsylvania either.
The most traditional Christmas meal.
I want Chinese bagels.
Just a bunch of chow mein and a bagel.
Right, exactly. So I like that tradition. That's a relatively sort of recent in my life tradition. It wasn't something I grew up with, obviously. But Sarah's family doing, multi-course Chinese food feasts is always a lot of fun.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
It's actually something we talked about doing this year because we're not doing like a big Christmas thing.
Right.
Maybe next year.
Right, exactly. Start that list of everything you want to do in 2021.
Yeah. All right, shall we go on to the next question?
We shall.
We have a comment on the blog from Russ, who says, "I still haven't been able to afford a Switch. This is the first time I've not had a Nintendo console day one for quite a few generations. If you didn't have a Switch already, would you buy one now or wait for a Switch Pro? Personally, I still want a Switch box, basically a Switch dock with the guts and no screen. I don't want to play portably, and I would be happy with just the TV mode."
Oh, so you want the reverse of the Switch Lite?
Yes, he wants the other half of that.
The Lite is just the portable, and you want the not portable.
The Switch box. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Sort of like what they did with the Vita, right? Wasn't there some device like late in the life of the Vita that
there was that
you could put cartridges in?
The Vita TV or whatever.
Yeah, and hook it up to your television.
Was it? It might have. I don't even remember if it was called Vita, but yeah, they had that.
Yeah.
I kind of want that. Like, I definitely use my Switch more than more docked than I do portable these days. A lot of that is because I'm just always at home.
Yeah. Where are you taking it?
I've
exactly.
definitely never traveled. But yeah, I'd like, when it first came out, or even before it came out, I was like, no, if it's even an option to have this hybrid system, why would I ever want just a Switch box? But at this point, I think about it, if there was some other benefit, or if it was like cheaper or more powerful or something like that.
Yeah. All of my Switch consumption up to Animal Crossing was primarily docked on my television. And then Animal Crossing came out, and obviously to be able to sort of check in daily, I can't take over the TV for 3 hours a day, an hour a day, to be able to sort of do all of my errands and stuff in Animal Crossing. So I have played hundreds of hours of Animal Crossing on my portable and not on the television. So yeah, I mean, I see the argument for both in my life. For us at this point, should you get a Switch now, or should you wait for the Switch Pro? So what's the proposition of the Pro? What could possibly be Pro? Is it like a new 3DS where it's a faster processor, 4K?
I think a lot of I don't know how much of these are rumors or just people like on their putting stuff on their wish list, but I hear it's first of all, it's definitely more powerful, right? It's definitely got the new 3DS kind of thing, like you said. I hear 4K going around a lot. That seems like, I don't know if that's realistic. considering just Nintendo's history.
And it's not like there are Switch games in 4K that are dying to be played.
Right. So something I was going to go with that. I can't remember. Streaming is the other thing.
Yeah, it would have to be something that's because you can't stream from the Switch without an external device now. So maybe something with kind of onboard streaming. Would actually be
really nice. That would be interesting. If I didn't have one right now, I would say, like, unless there's something you're really dying to play right this instant, I hear a lot of rumors swirling around, like there might be some announcement around like March or April next year. So if you can hold off, you don't need to play Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, or whatever, and you can wait until March just to see what's going on. Maybe do that, because like, given the choice, if they were both available, if I could get a regular Switch or a Switch Pro, I think I would tend towards the Pro at this point.
Yeah, I mean the Pro, probably is going to cost more, right? It's probably going to be, pick a number, $50 more, $100 more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, unless they drop the price on the old Switches, and the Pro now is the standard at $299.
Yeah, but you can start saving up in the meantime.
Exactly. So that console you couldn't afford for the last 4 years, you probably can't afford either. So
get the more expensive one.
Right, exactly. It's just bad advice. I don't know. There's a lot of really good games on the Switch. Just a lot. Certainly all the first-party stuff, but tons and tons of really good kind of indie games and other things. Mm-hmm. So have a Switch, no matter how you get one Switch, or when you get one. But at some point in your life, you should definitely get a Switch.
Yeah, very good. And actually, if you think about it, so even if you think about the new 3DS, or that was the only like new kind of mid-generation update they did, right? Other than like there was the DS Lite that just got smaller.
Yeah, the DS did a couple of updates, but I think they were just cosmetic more than anything.
The new 3DS was like the first one that was actually more powerful. But then even then, there were like maybe just 2 or 3 games that were exclusive to the new one.
Right.
So, just keep that in mind. If they actually do put out a Pro Switch, I feel like they wouldn't want to alienate all of the existing Switch owners, because there are millions of them. Yeah.
So I think think about what a Pro could bring. Is it any of the things that we said, like streaming or 4K? If those are must-haves for you, if you have a 4K TV that's dying for content, then I would hold off. But if you have the means currently to grab a Switch, I would say grab a Switch.
Man, the Pro, the promise that it could even be slightly more powerful is very enticing. Just after playing that, the Age of Calamity demo, and it was just, it was chugging, just
chugging along.
And I was like, I'm normally not a stickler for that kind of stuff. I was just like, oh, guys, what are you doing? Anyway, hope that guides you towards making a decision, Russ. You'll be happy with whatever you end up with.
Yeah, let us know what you do.
Yeah. Next up, we have a tweet from FunSize27, who asks, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" Is this a real question? Oh, you're doing it. Okay, yeah, hold that up to the mic.
It's not much of a sound.
It's not much of a sound. I don't know how well that works without the visual aid.
Oh yeah, people listening to the download of this later in the week are probably very confused by the silence.
No, he was actually he was clapping with one hand. I can vouch for I was there. I witnessed it.
I don't know how to do it, but it's not much of a sound at all.
No. Okay, well that's great. That's very efficient. Asked and answered. All right, next up we got an email from whoever this guy is. It says, "Dear Randy and DJ, thank you so much for your podcast, Twitch streams, Extra Life charity event, and Discord friendship this year. It has meant a lot to me and everyone in all the craziness of 2020. Now, as promised, my multi-part question. Number 1. How much time do you play a given game that you review each week? Number 2, do you feel like you can give a game a fair chance in that amount of time? What about games that need a lot of time to really give a final review, like Persona, Horizon Zero Dawn, Yakuza, Cyberpunk 2077, etc., etc.? Number 3, where do you find the time to do everything for VGHangover each week, including playing, reviewing, recording, editing, posting, etc.? And finally, 4, what do you do with all your games that you review, and play for the above amount of time. Really fixated on just how long it takes or how long we play games, I guess. Do you just keep them in a massive library, trade and sell them for other games, or delete them from your phone? Hope this helped kill some time in your great Drunktacular. Your friend Eshin, like the end of compression. I've been saying his name incorrectly for probably a year or however.
About a year now, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, about a year.
So
that's good.
With apologies. Yeah.
Feel really good. It says, don't worry, everybody says it wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Eshin. I think that you got it right.
Yeah. So Eshin, very active in our Discord, super active in our Animal Crossing channel as well, and he alludes to man having just the nice community of the Discord friendship to kind of lean on a little bit throughout the course of this crazy year, and yeah, I would absolutely back that. I think our Discord is awesome. I love the people in there, and we never have any drama or weirdness or anything like that. It's just always a good conversation. But the Animal Crossing channel alone has just been like my people. I don't have anybody in the real world that I can just put on blast with my Animal Crossing enthusiasm, and it's been nice to sort of be able to go into the Discord and share that enthusiasm with people who are like-minded. So yeah, that group of folks has been super important and meaningful to me this year as well.
Do we need more Discord drama? First of all,
No.
Should I be starting stuff?
should you be just drama bombing our Discord? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Should I just be calling people out every day? It's like, what did you mean by this?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, actually, I like it. It's been very. I like drama free. It's been good.
Yeah.
Especially the Animal Crossing channel. It's very wholesome.
It is. Yeah. It would be surprising if it wasn't. If it was just
the worst Animal Crossing channel.
Yeah. Just Animal Crossing / fiction and stuff like that. It would be. That would be surprising.
Animal Crossing, yeah, I'm sure that exists. I mean, that doesn't sound
Don't
like
Google it.
negative.
I don't want to know. Keep it out of my head and out of my search history.
I'm going to look this up. We're going to read some.
No.
Oh, man. Well, that doesn't even sound that toxic. Like, you could all be into Animal Crossing and / fiction. As long as everybody's into it. That's the key.
Right, exactly. So, Eshin's first question, how much time do you play a given game that you review each week?
About 15 minutes, usually.
Exactly. Opening credits. That's it. That's the.
I play long enough where I can drop some detail where it's like, oh, he wouldn't have known that if he hadn't played the game, and I just immediately turn it off.
Yeah. I mean, DJ and I sort of collaborate during the week before we record and what are you playing? Have you played enough of it to talk about? And we will sometimes sort of okay, well, we'll save that for another week because I want to get a couple more hours with it. So, we don't pretend, obviously, to come to the show having completed a game and watch the credits roll. Mm-hmm. It is not realistic that we be able to sort of see the end of every single video game that we play. But we try, obviously, to sort of make sure that we play enough of it to be able to sort of formulate an opinion. Thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe, or And we always try to say that at the very least, I've only played a few hours. I'm only 5 hours in. Maybe it changes later. Particularly in games like you mentioned, Persona, Horizon Zero Dawn, Yakuza. We did an entire episode 2 weeks ago about Yakuza, and I've only probably played 8 or 9 hours of this 50, 60-hour game. So it is not meant to be a definitive review, and I think we said that on the episode that this is kind of a review in progress if you have such a thing in your life.
Yeah, I don't. So obviously, I play more than 15 minutes. I'd like to play to the point, which is different for every game. But I like to get to the point where I kind of understand just what's going on, and how all the systems in the game work, and just get the general I don't know, essence of it. That's not the right word. That's not the best word. But just so I can speak in an informed way about it.
Yeah.
It's tough, especially with games like Yakuza, the longer stuff, because I feel like I've played that game probably 20, 25 hours at this point, and I suspect that there's still stuff that is going to change about it. There's still new stuff that's going to happen. Oh, yeah. So I'm always kind of on the lookout for that sort of thing. But I've for that one, I probably played. This is unusual because I played this a lot before I talked about it. But probably like 10 hours. That's a lot. It sounds like a lot. Usually, it's probably on average it's more like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
maybe less.
And
than
sometimes, depending on the game, that can be enough to see all of it. I mean, we like single sitting games. We've talked about that a bit on the podcast in the past, and we try to sync up on those. If I find something that is, hey, this only takes an hour to play, let's play it together. We love being able to sort of see beginning, middle of an end of a game in its entirety, and be able to sort of give that complete opinion on the show. But yeah, we're more often than that when we sort of review, air quotes, a game on the podcast. It is really sort of meant to be sort of my experience with it up to this point.
Something I would really like to do, and we don't, like, just the fact that we do an hour every week doesn't really provide enough time for it, but I think ideally I would like to, like, give impressions on the first few hours of whatever I've played, and then come back to it a few weeks later, whether it's just, like, after playing more of it, or after finishing it, possibly, and just give an update. Especially if anything, if, like, my impressions have changed at all. But just in hopes of giving them more, like, complete impression over it. I think it's interesting, incidentally, that I don't consider what I talk about on the show to be, like, reviewing games necessarily. It's more like just giving my thoughts about however long I played on it. I don't think I ever intend to come on the show and be like, well, this game, this was good. This was 4 out of 5, and you should play this one.
Yeah.
So whenever somebody says, like, you know, or whenever, like, this comes up on the Discord occasionally, they're like, so I listened to when you reviewed, like, 13 Sentinels last week, and I was like, I don't remember reviewing 13 Sentinels. I talked about it for a few minutes. I think it's just a different connotation than what I'm sort of going for. But so I think it's interesting that people take it that way.
I think
Hyatt says, didn't you guys used to say loved it 7 out of 10? Possibly. Possibly.
I think we've uttered those words in the past. Absolutely. I don't know. That is that's tough. And when sometimes we get codes for video games, and we've been very lucky and fortunate to be able to I don't know what, partner with publishers and stuff like that to be able to play their games for free, and that's exciting. And obviously, it's super important to me to be able to, you know, justify that value. If they're going to give me something for free that would have otherwise cost me $20, $40, $60, I want to spend enough time with it to be able to sort of formulate a complete opinion of it. And they're and they always sort of want to know, Randy, when is your review going up? Please send us a link to your review. And I'm like, okay, well, here's 20 minutes of me on the podcast talking about it. I don't know, like you said, DJ, I'm not sure if that counts as the review. But yeah, it's more of a let's play, really. It's sort of a let's play in action. We are playing this thing. Yeah, and here's sort of my thoughts on the experience thus far. But it's, never really intended, unless we're sort of saying, okay, I finished it, here's my thoughts on it now. It's never intended to be sort of the definitive word on my experience with a video game.
Yeah, I feel weird getting those emails. They're like, hey, we've got some codes to give out. Just let us know if you'd like to review it. I'm just like,
Can I milk $60 worth of fun out of this for you guys? Yeah. Yeah. Please keep sending us codes. I don't mean to discourage anybody who wants to do that thing. We love that, and it makes us feel like a real podcast. But yeah, it's tough sometimes to get all of that into our lives.
I think my new policy actually is just going to be everything is 7 out of 10. And that's what Cyberpunk got, right? Everybody loves that game.
Yeah. I think everybody rioted when they saw the 7 out of 10. Yeah. And then 4 days later, once everybody got their hands on it.
Yeah. Oh boy. We'll do a whole episode on that game next year.
Yeah.
What is the next part of this? So we got through 1 and 2. Where do you find the time to do everything for VG Hangover each week? I have no idea.
And he says play, review, record, edit, post, etc. So DJ does most of this, honestly.
I actually play Randy's games, and I tell him what to say.
Exactly.
And it's like, so I play a little more Paper Mario. That was all right. But that was like, I don't know.
I can't remember the last time I actually played a video game. Everything's just DJ. Yeah, I have a little mic in. So yeah, where do we find time? We make time. I mean, sometimes I get to Sunday or Monday of a week and we record on Monday nights and I've not played anything new. And it's important to me to be able to sort of come to the podcast with something new to talk about, with new content. I'm not going to, well, I could, but I don't want to hop on every single week and just fill your heads full of Animal Crossing. So I try to make sure that I need to play something new. DJ, what are you playing? What can I hop in on that? Let's play multiplayer or something. Let's find a way. I have this 2-hour window, 3-hour window between now and the time that we record to be able to sort of glean an impression of a game or go back to a game that I dropped before and try to sort of milk some more out of it. So, like anything in life, it's important to you. If you're trying to sort of present a product to consumers, then you make sure that you spend adequate time with that product, and you just find a way to fit it in.
Yeah, I try to sometimes it's tough for me to get around to new games during the week, so I will specifically cut out some time on the weekend to get into whatever I plan to talk about. But sometimes it's weird, and in those situations, I just rely on, sometimes during a slow week, I'll play more than one game and just not talk about one of them and kind of bank it for when I need to pull something out of a hat. Or
absolutely.
Wherever.
I think we made that mistake kind of in the early days of Video Game Hangover. We would come to the podcast with I played these 4 games this week.
Yeah, those are always fun. It was and why was this week's episode an hour and a half long? Because we talked about 10 games.
Right. And we would roll into recording the next week and I'd be like, I haven't played anything new because I'm still playing those 4 games and I talked about all 4 of them already. So yeah, we've gotten better at that, I think, as we've gotten a little more experienced.
There's some strategy to it. I guess finally, last part, what do you do with all the games that you review and play for the above amount of time?
Yeah. So, obviously the downloadable stuff just still lives on our hard drives. The physical stuff, and DJ, you don't buy a lot of physical games anymore.
No, I mean, this is an easy question for me. So since the PS4 and Switch was after that, right? Yeah, it was.
Yes,
that's ridiculous. Yeah, so it started on the 3DS. But since publishers, or I guess the platform owners, have gotten more into just making games available digitally, I have been mostly digital on all the games I play. So easy question. I just don't do anything with them afterward. They just stay on the hard drive.
Yeah.
Or if I need more space, they get deleted. But I haven't done the resell, trade-in, whatever, in forever. In fact, even when I was collecting, or even when I was doing physical games, I would rarely do that unless it was just a game I knew I was absolutely never going to play again.
Yeah. Yeah, same. So yeah, I just hold on to a lot of video games. I have buckets full of them. I have two bins, 2 of these big IKEA bins under the TV cabinet full of video games. To my left is a rack full of video games that I have not touched in years. I take a pretty firm stand on sort of the used video game market. I feel like you should buy new games. You should support the people who spend their lives and take time away from their families to make these video games. So I don't almost as a rule buy used video games. And to that end, I don't sell video games for the most part. I have in the past done it every now and then just to try to clear out some of the collection. Every now and then, like this week, I will get to a point with a game like, Watch Dogs Legion, where I'm like, I am never going to touch this video game again. I've seen everything that I care to see inside this game, and I could probably get $25 for it and put that into some next game that I want to play. So I did flip my copy of
you already did
Legion.
It. Oh,
it's already gone on Facebook Marketplace. Actually, one of my neighbors walked over and picked it up, so that game is gone. But I don't do that often, like I said, because I try to sort of make sure that when I spend money, when other people spend money, that money goes directly to the people who made that video game.
That's good. Yeah, I always try and buy new. I mean, I have to because they don't sell used games on the digital store.
Right,
but
exactly.
Even back then, I'd try and buy new when possible, which I realize is it's difficult, especially when you see the prices on those used games. But yeah,
and that's a luxury. In my life, I've been lucky enough to be able to indulge. I know that's not an option for everybody, and if you want to play video games, it's a very expensive hobby, and you got to get them any way you can. So I don't fault people for that. But I arrived at a point in my adulthood where I could sort of take a stand and say that, I got a real job now. I can afford to buy new video games every time I buy them, and I do.
Yeah. I'm not on the next gen train yet, so I have not bought my first $70 video game. Not looking forward to that. That's a lot. But
that hurts.
Also, if it means, I mean, I don't know how much this is true, but if it means that like the developers are getting better compensation, I feel like it's probably not true. Then I don't mind paying a higher price for it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not true.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, they're just like, oh, they're so expensive to make, we gotta pay these guys more. And I'm sure it's just like Bobby Kotick wants another yacht or something.
Right, exactly. Yes. Oh, God forbid.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then you should delete them from your phone. Yeah, I mean, I have a point sometimes with the video games on my phone, with the mobile games, where I start getting the pop-up saying, you're running out of space on your stupid hard drive on your phone. And yeah, I have to go, well, okay, what game haven't I touched in months that I could safely delete from my phone? Yeah. And it's never Desert Golf. Desert Golf just lives there
Desert
forever.
Golf, yeah, just permanent. Yeah. Just burn it onto into the firmware or whatever.
It doesn't take up much space either. It's a teeny tiny little download. So yeah, that's the one that is always sort of protected. If I could put a lock on that, I would never sort of delete my copy of Desert Golf.
Huge props to the games that manage to be amazing, and it's like a megabyte. That's
and tiny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Excellent.
Okay, well, so thanks so much, Eshin, for that marathon question. Hope we got all the answers in there. I wanted to circle back. It says Cube00 in the chat. Oh, it's that guy. He asked, "What you drinking?" In case you're tuning in late, I'm having a nice mulled cider with some whiskey in it, and Randy is drinking like some kind of antifreeze.
It's done. It's gone. It's just the blue.
It's the blue cherry. Okay, well, so you gotta. I mean, I think you gotta eat that thing at some point.
Nobody wants to watch me eat. If you do, that's weird. So I'm not going to do that. I'll save that for our break. But I have some beers here. I have a beer. I have a Pennsylvania brew. Oh. Sly Fox.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Can you see that? I don't have the image in front of me, but
no, you got it. So this is a Sly Fox. You don't just have like a 6-pack of those blue things.
just one after another. I just go up to the takeout window and grab one. So this is a Sly Fox Christmas Ale, a jolly holiday ale. In fact, it is ale with ginger, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and clove.
Oh, good.
And it looks like a little ugly Christmas sweater. And Sly Fox is a brewery in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. It is. Yeah, they make good beer. I'm going to drink this. Does
sound very festive. Amber's hand says she likes that design of the beer can.
I'm going to put this on a sweater and wear it.
Right.
It is. It's a mouthful of cinnamon. It is the cinnamon challenge.
Oh, that's good.
That was my review. I've not completed this game.
First impression.
But first impressions, first 15 minutes.
It's the cinnamon challenge.
It's a beer with a lot of cinnamon in it.
I don't know if I ever had like a holiday beer. 7 out of 10, yes.
7 out of 10.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, let's go back to the phone. We've got another call.
Yo, what up, podcast? It's your boy, Jenky, aka Patreader from the Discord. Calling comment on one of your earlier episodes when your boy Randy is talking about the Luigi's Mansion, about the hidden booze. Reminded me of a song. I'm gonna sing that song to you. Check it out. It goes like this. Hidden boo, what's the matter with you? You don't act like the other hidden do. You wear disguise to look like human guys, but you're not a man, you're a hidden boo. Anyways, that's my song. All right, peace.
All right.
Excellent. So that is that's Peter's from the Discord, right? And
it's Peter's on the Discord.
Yeah.
Not to give away the surprise.
Yeah, Peter's is in a different time zone than me, and I think potentially on a different planet than me, because I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and I'll refresh the Discord to see what's happened, what kind of conversation has happened as I've been asleep, and it is really just Peter's talking to himself about video games all night.
We love
he is the unofficial PM editor, exactly. We totally love it. It's great, and I love his sort of funny renaming of video games and his commitment to not buying new video games but spending $100 on old video games.
And he's still working hard on the summer backlog attack, which is
right.
Which is props
in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
Peter's quite a character, and thank you for that lovely song.
I don't think there was a question in there, but that was lovely.
It's not a question. Yeah, I was searching for the question. I'm like, what are my responsibilities as a host here? But we didn't get asked a question.
Wait, was there a question? I'm looking over. I don't know.
What up, podcast? That's the question.
What up? Doing a show.
I'm doing this podcast. Yeah, that's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was terrific. I don't think anybody's ever called in with a song before, so that's something.
We appreciate that. Thank you. Normally, I'm the one who has to sing.
Okay. Well, moving on.
Yeah.
We have another tweet from Russ Greeno, who asks, "Would you prefer to drown very slowly or burn in a fire quickly?" Yeah, that's very dark.
I'm gonna take a sip of my Christmas beer while I ponder this. I don't know. Would you rather drown very slowly or burn in a fire quickly? I have
I think, like, first of all, so Russ Greeno, is everything all right? Why? What's going on?
Russ can't afford a Switch, and he's contemplating horrible things. Yeah.
Are you this distraught over the fact that there's no Switch box? It's a little worrying.
We love you. You're in a safe place, and we absolutely should not make light of these things. If you need anything, just let us know.
Yeah, but that being said, I gotta go with the burning in a fire quickly, right? I mean, let's get it over with.
Really? Why would you want to drag that out?
I haven't drowned, clearly.
Yeah,
but that it sounds terrible.
And I have been around water and fire in my life, so I have experience with both. I mean, drown slowly, duh.
I don't
According
want
to this is from our Discord. MEZ says drown slowly, duh.
Duh. Why drown slowly? That, like, do you just
you're gonna have to justify that. You can't just say duh.
Or you just, like, obviously drown slowly. That sounds very unpleasant. I mean, I don't think burning in a fire sounds great either, but at least it's quickly.
Right. Yeah. I have like huge water phobia. I can't swim in the ocean. I never go in like ponds or lakes.
Not a fan.
I go in crystal blue swimming pools occasionally. So I can see everything around me. But big open bodies of water are terrifying. There was that movie a couple of years ago with the couple that got left behind when they were scuba diving. And that is just my worst nightmare. I
couldn't even watch that, I don't think.
No, that's horrible. So no, I don't want water associated with my death in any way. So
what if you were drowning slowly in the middle of the ocean, but then somebody set you on fire? You'd just be like, yes, this is what I wanted.
Unless I'm on fire and then they drop me in the ocean and then it's put out and I'm better.
No, you'd be like, oh yes, burning quickly, this is what I've always wanted. Then suddenly you're in the ocean. You're just like, no, this is worse. God, this is real
MEZ
dark.
says, justifying his answer, he says, lungs feel suffocated, all synapses igniting would be too much.
I've never had all my synapses ignited before. Maybe that would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, fire sounds like a lot of pain. Drowning is probably less painful, right?
I think drowning sounds terrifying. I think fire, you would just be like, oh, what's going on? And then hopefully you're dead in a few seconds. But I don't know if that's how it works.
Definitely. Obi High in the chat says, have you played Subnautica already? I've not played that. It's kind of an underwater scuba diving thing, right? I think. And I don't know. I mean, it's a video game. It's probably fine. But
one of the streamers I watch has been playing that lately. And like 90% of it seems like, oh, this is nice because you're in a little like subaquatic station or something. And you're just like seeing fish swim around. But then I know, like, you know, there's a chance that he's just going to like dive way down. They're going to be like big creepy undersea creatures. It's going to be all dark. It's going to be terrifying. I'm just going to have like a panic attack.
Yeah.
So I can't even watch those.
The new Tomb Raider games have a lot of really horrible deaths for Laura, and the drowning deaths are awful because inevitably your little air bubble thing runs out and you're too far under to get to the surface, and it's just her like gasping and it just sounds horrible. So
I don't even like drowning in a game. Burning to death, fine. So I think that's my answer.
Water levels are terrible. I'm on record for that. Fire levels are fine. But fire levels. In real life, I would take the fire.
Twisted Cage 2 says drown slowly for sure, and I hate water. Man, people just don't want to burn to death, I guess. Anyway, So for us, I think it's both burning to death. Sounds like everybody else, though, would rather drown, which is, I don't even know what's going on at this point. Well, all right, you guys have fun with your drowning. We're going to be over here on fire.
We should collaborate. Like, we should work something out together. You guys have extra water on hand. We need
Yeah, maybe none of us have to drown or burn. That's the ideal outcome, I think.
When there's nothing left to burn, set yourself on fire.
All right. On that note, let's do the next question. We've got a tweet from, am I reading this correctly? Ragdoll Dollface?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. 2 dolls.
She says, do you have an upcoming title that you're excited for? What's your next big anticipated video game, DJ?
Oh, I can't go first on this one. You gotta. I don't like video games. I don't know if we talked about this.
I don't like looking forward to things.
No, I just enjoying stuff is not for me.
I'll tell you, against my better judgment, at the Game Awards this week, they showed a trailer for a new Perfect Dark game, and that made me very excited. And that is still probably very, very far away. And if the other Perfect Dark sequel is any indication, it's probably going to be terrible. But man, I love that first Perfect Dark. It's so good, and it's so good in so many ways. And it was such like a pivotal kind of life-changing video game for me. Like, I was not a big gamer up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first video game where I was sort of like, oh wow, I didn't know you could do this in video games. I didn't know you could, like, wander around and yeah, I don't know. There was just so much sort of fun stuff kind of hidden in that video game, and it was totally unlike anything that I'd ever experienced in gaming before. And now that I am older and more cynical, I'm still somehow oddly excited about there being a new Perfect Dark.
I would love to have the experience of playing the original Perfect Dark over again, because I also love that game so much. The sequel is not good. The new one, like, it's like the X-Files. Like, if you make a new thing and just call it Perfect Dark, what does that even mean these days? I was actually reading, though, today, a list of all the people working on the new version. It's like a reboot, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's from a new Microsoft studio. And
right.
there's some promising talent in there. I think there's, like, somebody who did all the weapon design for, like, Titanfall and Apex Legends, which I both really enjoyed. There's some other big names in there,
and the Perfect Dark series has some really awesome kind of legendary weapons. So
yeah, I mean that was one of the coolest things about that, was like, they had all these goofy weapons.
Yeah, that had like every weapon had an alternate mode, and that was one of the first video games where I remember that being a thing.
Yeah,
yeah, so good.
But at this point, I'm just like, I suspect it's not a lot of the original team. Would that even be a good thing to have that same team make stuff in 2021 or whenever that's coming out? So. To me, it feels a little arbitrary, but like, I hope it's good. That would be nice.
Yeah, the world needs more good Perfect Dark games, not bad ones. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So far, we're 1 for 2. So actually, there was that Game Boy one I never played. Maybe that was good.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I don't know. What's my next kind of most anticipated video game? There is a game that just came out called Alba: A Wildlife Adventure.
Oh, that's it. So I was Googling trying to find the name of that game.
Oh, excellent.
So thank you for just for knowing it.
Yeah,
because I would actually like to play that very soon.
Me too. And I think it comes out this week. So, and that feels like kind of a Randy game. It's kind of a cozy game, kind of a wholesome game. I believe you're sort of running around an island taking pictures of wildlife. Yeah. Which I've clearly established is a mode I like in video games. So I'm excited about that. That should be fun. And who's the developer on that? It's somebody kind of interesting.
It's us two who made Monument Valley.
Monument Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I was watching some people play it. It looks delightful. It looks like there's a lot of bird watching, which I know you want that to be in Animal Crossing. So now you can actually do that.
Yes, I want more bird watching in video games, please.
So yeah, I would love to play that. Beyond that, I don't really know. I'm actually kind of excited for Monster Hunter on the Switch next year. Monster Hunter Rise. I can't believe how hard. I mean, this is my only issue with it. Just Capcom has already been like promoting it full blast on social media, and it's just like, guys, it's like 3 or 4 months away. Just relax. I'm gonna get burnt out before you can even play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks fun.
Breath of the Wild 2. I'm gonna play the shit out of that game.
Sure. I'm sure that'll be good.
Yeah, that might come out someday.
So someday, yeah.
Yeah, I have this giant list of video games. I'm looking at my phone, which you can't see obviously in the chat right now, but of all these video games that I want to play, and it is all just weird, tiny little indie games for the most part, and Breath of the Wild too. So yeah, I have this sort of ongoing list of oddball, unusual, sort of left of center indie games that I want to make sure I keep track of, and a new Zelda game.
Yeah, I'll probably play Breath of the Wild too. It'll probably be
absolutely.
good. But yeah, Monster Hunter should be good. Miz, or is it? Let's say Miz in the chat says Christmas list, new PlayStation or Xbox. Are you looking forward to either of those? Are you planning to get one of those at some point?
Probably. Well, I mean, I would have to get an Xbox to play Perfect Dark. So when that rolls around, I assume that's going to be a Microsoft exclusive.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, and then PlayStation, that new Ratchet and Clank. As soon as there's a new Ratchet and Clank game, I'm going to have to get a PlayStation for it. So hopefully, yeah, that doesn't come anytime soon.
I would desperately like to be able to hold out long enough to get like the PS5 Pro or whatever the mid-generation refresh is going to be. I feel like that worked out really well for the PS4. But it depends on when Final Fantasy 16 comes out, I guess. 'Cause, I want to play that for sure.
That's your console buyer game, yeah.
I think it might be, probably. Have I done that for Final Fantasy before? I don't think so. Oh, actually, no. PlayStation 1. Because there was a notable Final Fantasy on that system. Wow, it takes me back. But yeah, at this point, I'd probably go with the PlayStation.
Yeah, that seems probably like the first purchase for me.
I'm curious about that Xbox, though, the little one. The baby Xbox, I've heard people calling it.
Yes.
Might do that. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems like the one to go with, I think.
Okay, we've got one more question. I think we're going to take a little break.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another tweet from Russ Greeno, who's he's backed away from the drowning a little bit. He asks, you're running for president. Which video game character will be your running mate for vice president and why?
Oh, boy.
Oh,
I have an answer.
Oh, what's your answer?
Princess Peach.
Princess Peach. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she has experience, right? She was arguably the most experienced politician in video games, right? I mean, she runs the Mushroom Kingdom. She keeps
better than like Princess Zelda. What does Zelda do? Zelda versus Peach. Go.
Hyrule is always a mess.
That's kind of true. There's always something going wrong.
Zelda's family, just can't ever seem to get control of what's going on in Hyrule. But
that's true. Zelda's just a terrible, like, that whole family. What's going on? Yeah.
I mean, the Mushroom Kingdom occasionally has some crazy shit happening too, but they piece it back together pretty quickly, and it always looks beautiful on the other end.
Yeah, it seems like she has enough free time that she can afford to always be like playing tennis or driving a go-kart or whatever.
Exactly. She's got a lot of leisure time. Yeah.
She's got it together.
Yeah. Or God forbid another president that plays golf a lot.
Yeah. Oh God. Either that or just like the Mushroom Kingdom's on fire the whole time while she's out there playing tennis. Who knows?
And she's entombed in glass or something like that. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I would go so far as to say that Princess Peach is probably a stronger candidate for president than me. I'll be her VP. She could be the big dog.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have to be a prince. Is there a Prince Peach?
I don't think so.
I don't really... one step. I don't keep up with the monarchy. I don't know. Russ Greeno, he lives in England. He can clarify this for us. What would be Princess Peach's sort of cabinet? How does that work?
I think it's interesting that he asked about if we're running for president rather than like prime minister or whatever. I don't know how that works. Yeah. Do they just like grow one out of the ground over there?
They shake a tree and Boris Johnson falls out of it.
Oh, God. Hopefully not. Oh man.
Hair askew. Yeah. Yeah. DJ, do you have an answer for that, or are you on board with Princess Peach? Does she have our full endorsement at Video Game Hangover?
I would endorse Princess Peach for my VP. I was thinking, like, for VP, I don't know what they actually do other than, like, vote in the Senate.
Yeah. Which is important, obviously.
I mean, it's important, yeah. But it seems like a lot of it is just, like, being a good PR face to some degree. Don't ask me anything about government, please.
You like read books at a lot of daycare centers and things like that back in the day. So
sure,
yeah.
Or like deliver huge pizzas or eat ice cream or whatever. So I feel like you want a strong, like a very charismatic personality. In which case, I would go with VTuber Inugami Korone, because she's so hot right now. Everybody loves her. That's just a shoo-in to be a landslide.
I don't know
election.
what any of the words you just said mean. Who is that?
She's the dog girl who plays Mario Brothers. You know VTubers?
No.
No? Okay, well.
No.
Not getting your vote, I guess.
I'm gonna need some more information. I have to check in at the town hall and see what she has to say.
Okay.
What's her platform?
That would be a very interesting debate for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got kind of a mixed ticket. We've got someone with obvious governing experience, hopefully.
Yes.
And then an imaginary YouTube character.
It's got to be better than a game show host.
It's got to be. I mean, hopefully.
It couldn't possibly be worse.
Oh, man. Okay, well, on that note,
yeah.
I think we're going to take a quick break.
Very quick.
Refill our drinks. We'll be back, before you know it. But thank you so much, everybody in the chat so far. Everybody sending questions so far. We will be back with the second half in a few.
Yay. And we're back. Excellent.
Hello.
Welcome back to part 2.
Welcome to the second half, which historically has been a little more interesting than the first half.
How you feeling, DJ? How would you rate your drunkenness on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm feeling all right. I feel like I'm a little behind. The cider was good, but it's cooled off a bit. I can no longer crack open a hot one, as it were. So I've got I've been doing a lot of like Korean food lately. So I've got a bunch of Korean beer. So I'm gonna do one of these.
Excellent. Cass.
It says, I don't know how true this is. Korea's #1 beer. Sure.
Is that like the Foster's, where nobody in Australia actually drinks Foster's?
No Korean has ever had this. So there we
Excellent.
go.
Well, good. We're 50% fewer hats. Yes, I could not go into the second half with the hat. I had to unleash my head. It's just hot and itchy, and I could not tolerate it any longer. DJ though, feeling good.
I thought I was going to be in the same place. Just like, I don't know how long this hat's going to last, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I like it. So let's keep it going.
Excellent. So yeah, we have more of your questions and stuff. So what is up next?
Ambersan says that can't be true. I think it's referring to the #1 Korean beer. I don't know. Who can say? Who am I?
I've not done the research on this.
We'll get back to you. Okay, no, but we got another call.
Yo, what up? It's me again. Calling you with another song, except this time it's a song about a game that I played. Check it out. It goes like this. Yeah. Check. Astro Brain. That's a game that's made by Platinum Games. Astro Brain. You play as Akira Howard. That's your name. Astro Brain. You got a robot with a sword that's on a chain. Astro Brain. And sometimes it's a dog and has a bow and arrow. Astro. I think I messed it up. Okay. Astro Brain.
Astral Brain.
Man.
Again, not in the form of a question.
Yeah, was there a question in there? I think like clearly no question was asked that time.
Yo, what's up? I think that was the first question.
What's up?
Yeah.
We're still doing this thing.
Yeah. Nothing else.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I think that is a reference to the video game Astral Chain, right?
I think that is an Astral Chain. Yeah.
Because in that game you do in fact have a robot dog.
With a chain? Oh, robot. Wait, the robot is there more than one robot? Is the robot a sword?
A sword that's on a chain. I think you have a dog, a robot dog, and a sword that's on a chain.
But it sounds like the robot has the sword. I don't know. I haven't played this one. I was kind of curious about that one. I'm maybe a little more inclined to play it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like all of those things. So
I love robot. I love swords, especially when they're on a chain. Oh man, how can we possibly follow that one up?
We have a comment in the chat. It says, "What is happening?" That is
asking the wrong people.
Yes. Yeah. We're totally not in control of this.
Okay. Well, let's move on.
Yes, we have another tweet from Russ Greeno, who is very prolific this year. Has really just come out with a lot of questions.
Just a curious guy. Just wants to know a lot of things.
Curious Russ. So he says, if you were a video game, what genre would you be, and which platform would you be released for, past or present?
Ooh.
You would be an RPG.
Oh, would I? Okay.
On the PlayStation.
Do we answer this for each other?
For each other? I think.
Interesting.
That wasn't my plan, but I think we're going that way. So, yeah, you'd be a PS1 RPG. JRPG.
That's great, because that was my answer.
That's my... Good. Excellent.
I mean, PlayStation 1 for sure. Yeah, so that's very good. I'm glad you got that part. But I think if I was going to go into detail, it would be an RPG, sure. Mm-hmm. You would spend like 90% of the game just meticulously organizing your team and giving them all equipment and planning out their skills and whatever. And then it would be like one battle, and that would be it. Like
that's the entire game. You build your team, you pick all their weapons and their clothes and stuff like that, and then credits roll.
Yeah, just because like I'm so into just like the theory crafting or whatever. But after the one fight, I'm just like, I'm so tired, guys. Can we just like take a nap?
Yeah. I mean, usually at that point, you're 19 hours into the game anyway, so.
Yep. So good. Very astute.
Thank you.
Let's see. If you were a video game, I think you would be... you never owned a PS2. I was going to say PS2. You would be... I think probably... I'm not going to do Uncharted, because that's an easy answer. You would be some kind of mascot platformer for, I'm going to say PS4?
Oh,
or original Xbox.
Super modern, cutting edge.
You'd be on the Nintendo Switch. What am I even talking about?
It would have to be a Nintendo device, I think. Yeah, absolutely.
It's weird because like the 3D platformers that are on the Switch are not necessarily, or like the first party ones anyway, are not like, I think, the type of 3D platformer that you would become. I think you're much more. I think of you as more of a Ratchet and Clank kind of guy.
Yeah, I would totally be Ratchet.
Or Jack and Daxter.
Yeah,
but like not a Mario is the thing.
I wasn't really into...
The Spyro thing came out on the Switch, right? So maybe that's maybe you'd be Spyro.
Yeah. That's kind of the perfect pocket era, and I never had a PS2, so I was late to a lot of those games. Although Spyro was on PS1.
You would be a remastered compilation for the Nintendo Switch.
HD up-resed, yeah, totally. Yeah, I'd be all about that. Yes, I think that's fair.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
I think the other extreme, though, I would probably also be a farming simulator on your DS.
Okay,
like a video game where you kind of check in with your neighbors and grow some wheat. Yeah, things like that. That would totally be that kind of game, I think.
Like a social kind of thing.
Yeah. A walking simulator.
A walking simulator.
Or no, what do they call those? A life sim.
Life sim. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, meet your neighbors, date all of them.
Yeah, because I am all about the simulation of having a life.
Okay. Yeah. Well, video games are a nice escape.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I think we got that.
Absolutely. Good question, Russ.
Eshin calls out Stardew Valley. Have you played Stardew Valley yet?
I've never. No, it is probably one of my great gaming shames. It seems to be a game that is just kind of explicitly designed for my tastes, and I somehow have never played it. So I will have to get to that eventually.
All right. Well, you're waiting for all those big 2021 games to come out.
Right. Exactly. I can play it on one of the other 17 devices I have.
Oh. Okay. Well, good. I think we nailed that one.
Totally.
Next question from Arathel of Linnaeus. I'm sure I'm butchering that.
Me too.
Good, thank you. Says, I just started listening to your show yesterday and I'm loving it so far. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is, Arathel. I suppose my question would be, as a fellow atheist video gamer, are there any video games that you believe tackle the problems of religion in a coherent fashion? It's getting pretty deep. In
got
the
heavy.
second half.
Yeah.
First, we're getting drowned and burned.
I am an atheist video gamer. Are you? Are you on the record, DJ, as being an atheist video gamer?
I consider myself an agnostic.
I can see that.
I think of myself. I like to think of myself as a scientist. First of all, even though I'm not like a practicing scientist, but I'm a huge fan of just science and
sure.
We should have asked this question about 45 minutes ago.
But are there any video games that we believe tackle the problems of religion in a coherent fashion? I don't know. That seems like...
I don't know. I think that's kind of a loaded question. Because, what are the problems of religion that you're trying to tackle? I think that has a different answer depending on who you ask.
Sure. Absolutely. And I mean, from my perspective, and I think presumably from Arathel's of Linnaeus, that I guess we would agree that religion is potentially problematic. But are there any video games that sort of take that perspective? The only ones that really kind of came to my brain as I was thinking about this were BioShock 1 and Infinite. I think
interesting.
There are pretty sort of deliberate elements of both of those games that are very kind of anti-Christian. And it's surprising that Ken Levine snuck those out into the world from a major video game publisher. So I think probably those are the only ones that I could really summon in my brain at all that sort of did something that I thought was sort of surprising in their sort of disposition and position on video games. I'm sorry, and on religion in video games.
That's interesting. I don't know if I got that reading from, at least not the first BioShock. BioShock Infinite, probably.
Yeah. I mean, BioShock Infinite has the whole baptism thing, and there's a lot of...
oh, that's right.
Yeah. Stuff that happens in that, and it's sort of never positioned as being good for society. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know
if I've played a video game that's been great about that. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm not necessarily like seeking that out on all the like religion in the games I play typically manifests as like a church that just becomes comically evil at some point and you just have to go kill the Pope. So I don't know if that's like the nuance you're looking for.
VGH 474 kill the Pope. We're gonna get letters, DJ.
Get in trouble. Yeah.
No. I don't know. I can think of more cases where there is sort of clearly veiled Christianity. I mean, the Zelda games, the religion in Zelda, and I'm not sure if it has a name, appears to be just another version of Christianity. It's very...
In Zelda?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Are they very religious in that? Because there's like... I don't even know if there's like a church, really. Is there?
I don't know if there's a church, but there are all the little... the fairy shrines and stuff like that. I think there's a whole kind of like hokey kind of religious thing to that.
I always felt that was, I mean, especially in Breath of the Wild, it feels much more like, what is it? Like Shinto than Christianity.
Yeah. Or Buddhism, where it's more spiritual.
Or Buddhism,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But maybe I go looking to be offended by that because I'm an atheist.
How can I turn this into something that I'm offended by?
Right, exactly, yes. As a vegan and as an atheist, I'm offended by all of these things. Yeah.
I don't know which video game it is, but whichever one it is, I don't like it.
I'm super offended by it. Yeah. God of War. Obi Hyde in the chat says God of War. All of the Greek gods and stuff like that. I'm actually playing Immortals now, and it is very like. And I remember all of like from elementary school, man, getting all of those, Hades and all of those people taught as sort of fairy tales and stuff like that in elementary school, and then obviously sort of revisiting that stuff in God of War, and man, it is just oozing in everything in Immortals. So
this is that Phoenix Rising thing.
Yes, yeah. What else? MEZ says, "What's the difference between agnostic and atheist?" What's your take on that, DJ, since you're self-identified agnostic?
Well, so for all intents and purposes, I think I considered an atheist who just doesn't think there's a God. Is that correct?
Yes, I would agree with that.
But the reason I say I'm agnostic, and the reason I threw out the fact that I'm a huge believer in science, is that so you can't logically say that something does not exist. So if you ask me is there some sort of like all-controlling, all-powerful being that exists somewhere out there, I'd say, well, probably not. I haven't seen evidence of one. But I can't say that there is definitively not one.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Was it sort of the funny definition I kind of always have in my head? I think George Carlin gets credit for this one. Is that an atheist is certain there's no God. An agnostic is afraid there's no God. I don't know.
That's too much for me to take in at this point.
To unpack, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Who knows?
Anyway, hopefully we didn't just alienate half of the listeners.
Oh, really? Check the chat. We still have all the people who were here before.
Some people in there. Okay. Thanks so much, Aerithal, Linus. Well, thank you so much for enjoying the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy.
Maybe if there is I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a game out there that deliberately deals with this sort of stuff. Maybe we can check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Aerithal, if there's a game that we missed, by all means, chime in and let us know.
Okay. Oh, MEZ says agreed. So it wasn't even like they were just curious. They were just like testing us. So like, interesting.
We passed the test. Good.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we're all in agreement. Let's move on as quickly as possible.
Believe it or not, another tweet from Russ Greeno. He says, "Why is DJ so secretive about his life on the show?"
Am I secretive about my life?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a show about my life. I don't know if that's an expectation. Are you like overly open about your life on the show? You maybe talk about what's going on with you more than I do.
Maybe. So
I guess if you want to look at it in that through that lens,
it's mostly because I don't shut up and you can't get a word in edgewise.
No comment.
DJ came to the show prepared to talk about his life, but I wouldn't shut up, so he didn't get it in. Yeah.
Yes, I'm still waiting for the opportunity. Let me tell you what I did this weekend. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do I come across as overly secretive? I have no idea. I mean, I'm not an especially outgoing person. I'll give you that. On some level, it is unbelievable that I even do a weekly show and not just like sit in my basement. I don't actually have a basement. In front of my computer all weekend.
Yeah. Are people in your life surprised that you do this?
I don't know. I feel like they're definitely like, I think about like teachers a lot, like past teachers that I've had, because I was not incredibly outspoken in school. But if I imagine going back to some of them and being like, oh yeah, so I do this show once a week where I just talk about video games or whatever. Maybe the video games aspect tempers it a little bit, but I feel like there are certain people who would be like, oh, that's weird. Who knew what's going on with that guy?
Yeah. I don't ever get that response from people. When I have told people, I've told coworkers, people who don't know sort of the intricacies of my life, when I tell them, I host, sort of an internet radio show. I think most of the people in my life go, oh, that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if I would get that reaction from people.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not like deliberately trying to be secretive. Is this just a recent thing, or has this been going on for the last 10 years? I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't done anything of note this year because I've been indoors all year.
He's not secretive. He just has everything to share, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think your point is valid. This is not necessarily, and we've been sort of specifically sort of engineering the show with this in mind. It's not a show about us. It's not personality driven necessarily, not intentionally or deliberately. We're here to talk about video games. So that, I think, is the thing that we want to sort of get to first. So yeah, the first sort of 10 minutes of the show where we're like, what are you up to, DJ? It was hard for a while because specifically didn't want to sort of like go down that road necessarily. I think as we've gotten further into the hundreds of shows that we've done, it's been easier to sort of talk about kind of the intersection of gaming with our lives. At least for me, anyways.
Yeah. At least for you. I don't know. It's not like the most, I don't immediately like volunteer that type of stuff, typically. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That's just me though.
And if not, I'll push you to answer awkward questions.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like the sound of that. Anyway.
But yeah, Russ Greeno, give us examples. If you want to elaborate, let us know what your.
What are you dying to know? Yeah. What have I been leaving out?
Yeah. Man,
I have to admit, I really the religion question. I got through the rest of that beer pretty quickly. So I'm onto this thing. This is Korea's number 2 beer. That doesn't even say that. I just made that up. But we're doing another one.
Nobody wants to be the number 2.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Russ Greeno.
See how I changed the subject like that? That was away from my personal details.
Good, it's a skill. Absolutely.
So we got that one for years.
DM from N. Wilson on our Discord. They want to know, what is something that game developers have been doing lately that you do not like, if anything? And similarly, what are some things that game developers have been doing recently that you do like and hope to see continue?
Yeah.
I have opinions on this.
Okay. Should we read this? So I actually like this. I like when people send in questions and then they also answer their own questions. I don't know why. I think it's just
Russ Greeno, why are you so secretive about your life?
Yeah, what's going on with you, Russ Greeno?
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes they'll ask a question and I'm curious why they even asked that question. But so just to give N. Wilson's answers, they said that they like that they're making remaster collections and have multiple games for an affordable price. That's good. And I like that the Mario collection included the soundtrack. Then for the other one, it says, do not like how some companies are relying on DLC for main content like the character packs for Smash Ultimate.
Yeah, DLC is always dicey. I feel like sometimes it feels like I'm paying more money to get a thing that probably should have just been baked into the game from the beginning.
I feel that way sometimes. I don't really know how all of that works. Like, I understand that sometimes it's like they have the plan, or they have like the base game budgeted out, and there's like a separate DLC plan later. But, if you really wanted to be cynical about it, you could just be like, okay, well, so here's the DLC plan that's kind of in development parallel to the main game. But who knows what goes on at all these developers.
The mysteries of video game development, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so like, just because you mentioned that in Wilson, I kind of had this weird DLC experience recently when I was trying to buy Yakuza 7. Yakuza Like a Dragon, and there are all these different editions with like different add-on bonuses, and I could not figure out what any of them were. It took, I had to do research on this, and all I wanted to do was just like, please just take my $60 for this game, and if there are these other things that would be interesting, these other DLC packs, then sure, at least tell me what they are. But they were just so ambiguous about it. So I guess it's that's an issue that that's something I have issues with.
Yeah,
is stuff that I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. I feel like all the different editions of games are such a given at this point that there's always like the base game, and then there's the deluxe edition, and then there's the super deluxe edition, and then there's the
day one edition.
Bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what I want.
Yeah. I've had to Google in the past. I've had to like, what are the versions of this video game that I'm anticipating? And inevitably it brings up some website that has made a spreadsheet that sort of like measures out all the difference. That's silly. That makes me nutty. You should have not have 5 SKUs for your video game that's launching. I can't deal with that.
Oh, what was it? It was like a Ubisoft game a few years ago where the people were actually sending around the matrix of like, here's what you get if you pre-order, here's what you get if you buy it digitally, versus if you go to these 4 different retailers, you get a different jacket for your character to wear, or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, the Yakuza one wasn't quite as bad as that, but it's still it feels like I don't even know. I got the FOMO a little bit. Why I was like, do I want the ultimate Yakuza edition, or in the end it turned out I just went with the base one because all the extra stuff I found out what it was, and it wasn't very enticing.
It's a lot of costumes, right? It's mostly dress up.
It was like costumes, and there were like songs for the jukebox. I was like, I can't believe you almost got me to shell out an extra $20 for just jukebox songs that you listen to in one room in the entire game.
Yeah. So something game developers have been doing lately that I like, and I think they should do more of, is I've been really impressed and inspired to sort of see just accessibility options in video games becoming more and more kind of standard. That every time I start a video game lately, it feels like there's a colorblind mode and there's a single-handed mode, and there's 5 different sort of variations on difficulty depending on how you choose to sort of consume video games or what your level of experience with that type of game is like. So I like stuff like that. I think it just makes sense from a business standpoint. Why not make a game that more people can play? But I think it sort of speaks to kind of this ever-growing stance that, there is no one type of gamer, that a lot of people sort of come to this hobby from a bunch of different perspectives and experiences and skill levels, and ability levels. Why would you not make a video game that addresses as many of those things as realistically possible?
Yeah, that's been a really wonderful moment to see happening.
Yeah.
I would say kind of in line with that, I like the fact that more developers have been adding like a story mode difficulty, or just like the super easy mode for people who just want to experience stuff that's going on in a game without having to be like, pro gamer. They don't have it in every game, but just the fact that, it's kind of another form of accessibility where you want to get just whether it's the story or the atmosphere or whatever appeals to you about a game, but you just don't want to have to fight it along the way. I think it's really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then kind of related to that, I just like that games, like, this is not really something that, it's not like an option that you throw on individual games, but I just like that there are more games coming out that are so atypical of kind of what you imagine a video game to be. So like that game, I can't remember the name again, but the wildlife photography game.
Alba.
Alba, yes. So like the fact that people are making games that are not about like defeating a boss or saving the world or anything. It's just like, hey, hang out on this island for a few hours and take pictures of the animals there. I think that's really wonderful.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. I like that as well. And I love that like wholesome games exists, and that there's a whole, subgenre now and a movement towards sort of recognizing games that don't fit into car and gun. I think. Yeah.
Because like a few years ago, people put out a game like that and you get all these comments that are like, oh, so like, where's the gameplay?
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. But now it's just like, those types of games have been proven to land really well with people, and now I feel like there's less hesitance to make something that is not car and gun, like you said.
Right, absolutely. The other end of the spectrum, things that game developers have been doing that I'm not a fan of. I still think, despite those things that DJ and I just said, that there's still a lot of like sameness. I still think, there's still the next battle royale game. There's still the next big military shooter. There's still, I don't know, pick a thing. The next roguelike or roguelite. I still feel like sometimes developers tend to tread water or go back to the well too often on things that I quickly get tired of seeing.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it may very well be that those things don't necessarily speak to me and my interest as a gamer. And that, the next time there's like, hey, it's the next big battle royale mode in the video game that you've been anticipating, I tend to sort of roll my eyes and immediately dismiss it.
Yeah. If sort of along those lines, I would just say I wish developers, rather than try and make like, just not to call out Ubisoft here, but just rather than trying to make a game that is appealing to as many people as possible, and you end up with the most kind of like focus group feeling thing, like Watch Dogs or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like, just find one aspect of it that works really well or people are really excited about, and like hone in on that and execute that really well. Whether it's like the stealth in, if we're just talking about Ubisoft games, like the stealth in Watch Dogs, and get rid of all the gunplay, because I feel like that game had some actually really good ideas, but it was just trying to do so much beyond that felt like it was designed like, oh, we're making an open world game, so we have to have X, or these are the types of people who have typically enjoyed our games, so we have to add feature or Y to appeal to them, rather than just like really pushing it in one specific area.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think there's still a lack of bravery on behalf of particularly the sort of big video game developers, that if you're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a video game, that it has to sort of fit neatly into sort of the compartment of those things that we said. It has to be gun or car, or maybe both if you're making a GTA game. I think there's a lot of games, and I've said this repeatedly while reviewing games on the show, like, the Tomb Raider games, Uncharted, Prey, that video game. All of those would be so much better if they didn't have you hiding behind a box shooting at bad guys. I think a Tomb Raider game that was just about puzzle solving and exploration, adventuring, jet setting around the world and living kind of a crazy adventurous life, I think that could be compelling for 12 hours. And it doesn't have to have Laura hiding behind a box shooting people in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. I'd like to see Nathan Drake, between games. What is he up to? Just like putting all of his artifacts in on display or something like that.
Just running a museum. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Do we do that one? I think that one's
we did. Yeah, absolutely. That was a good question. Thanks, Wilson.
Let's see. Oh, surprise. We got another tweet from Russ Greeno.
You're sentenced to death by firing squad. Oh, it's another.
What is going on?
Another warm-hearted tweet from Russ Greeno. You're sentenced to death by firing squad. Do you refuse or accept the blindfold?
Just a rough weekend over at the Greeno household.
Yeah. I don't know. I have pretty significant moral objections to the death penalty. So.
I mean, we're way past that at this point. You are already sentenced.
I would prefer a world where this is not a question people have to ask, obviously. But yeah, that being said, I refuse the blindfold. I want people, whoever's throwing this, whoever's firing the gun, whoever's sort of sitting in the gallery watching this thing, I want them to look me in the eye.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
And I want to look them in the eye.
Okay.
I want them to see that. I want to see my face every night before they go to bed.
Wow, this is real dark.
Yeah, I need more beer.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say I don't know if I would take a blindfold, because if it came down to it, I'd probably be closing my eyes anyway. But man, I don't know. After hearing your answer, maybe I'd want to stare him down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, I mean, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. Man,
is this I don't know what to do with this question. Is this just something you think about often? Are you in a situation where there's a high potential you may end up at the other end of a firing squad?
I don't know. Do they have capital punishment in England? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope not by firing squad. I mean, I don't know.
Ugh. I don't approve.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. I can't even imagine how I would end up. What do I even do to end up here?
Behind the chat says, "How to die is the new stranded island." Yes, that's true.
True.
We have had 9 years if you were stranded on a desert island type of questions, and we don't appear to have any of those this year. But it's a lot of
don't think I know one.
Choose your death kind of questions. See your death.
I don't know. I kind of wish we were back on the deserted island.
Yeah, really.
It'd just be every 5 minutes. It's how are you going to die this time?
Yeah. In a year where I've done nothing but play Animal Crossing, there are no more deserted island questions left to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, we came prepared, any desert island question people were going to throw at us, we were just like, had the answer.
I'm ready.
This is a real curveball.
Yeah.
Do they have baseball in the UK? Is that reference work?
Cricket. It's like cricket, right?
I'm sure you could throw a curveball in cricket.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A knuckle sandwich.
Knuckle sandwich? That's something else. Okay, well, anyway. Hopefully that helps you reach a decision on whether or not to accept the blindfold Rescue.
Yeah. Up next, we have a tweet from S. Paul Sandu. He says, question, do you miss me? Winky emoji.
Winky face.
Yes. S. Paul Sandu is Paul.
That's just Paul.
That's just Paul. Up until...
It says Paul right there in the name.
Fairly recently was our third chair. What was the third host of this crazy venture. And went on to pursue new things. So yeah, of course. I mean, I miss Paul. We still talk to Paul every single day. He's in the Discord. He's very active.
Yeah, I mean, he's still there.
He still plays tons of video games. Yeah. How can I miss you if you don't go away, Paul?
Yeah, right. You're like the nacho fries.
Just back for a limited time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I miss Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, man. Just having to do the show with just this other guy, not great. Oh wait, okay, never mind.
I'm sorry. I was focusing on something else. What?
Okay, no, I didn't say anything.
No. I have a new beer. To share. This is a peanut butter porter.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It tastes like peanut butter.
There was like...
And beer.
You know when you go to Jamba Juice or whatever, and they've got all those nice like fruit smoothies, and then there's the peanut butter one? I'm just like, why would you just want an entire glass of peanut butter?
Oh, no, I always want the peanut butter one.
Really? No, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Oh.
I don't want mango or orange or pineapple. I have enough fruit in my life. I'm not a big fan of fruit. But I'll take
I need a new co-host for this show. Please submit your application.
I'll take all the peanut butter. Peanut butter and coconut. Give me those two things in a smoothie.
At the same time?
Sure. That'd be amazing.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Peanut butter coconut smoothie.
I'm learning a lot this evening.
I'm on it. But this is a Saugatuck Brewing Company, not from Pennsylvania, from Michigan, I believe. I don't know why I have this, but it's a peanut butter porter, and I like peanut butter.
I mean, I like peanut butter. I don't want to drink it all the time.
I love peanut butter.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, it's got to be the right time.
Sure.
That's a very American thing. I've been, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Peanut butter is very American?
Yeah, like other countries, they wonder what's going on. It's like Marmite.
Oh, Vegemite?
Vegemite, Marmite. Is that the same thing? Close enough. But yeah,
I've got to vote. I've got to vote for the peanut butter porter in the chat. Peanut butter porter.
Peanut butter porter is good. Okay, you're banned from the chat. Whoever that is.
Savage, just savage, DJ.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh,
Obie Hyde in the chat wants to know if we were stranded on a desert island, would we consider getting a new co-host?
Okay, so in this scenario, we're both there at the same time.
Yeah.
But we're still doing the show, apparently.
Yeah. It would be super awkward if there were 3 of us on the island and only 2 of us did the podcast and didn't let the third person do it with us.
That would be really weird.
I mean, there's just 3 of us, so why not invite that third person onto the show? Sure. Yeah. If we were all stranded on a desert island together, I would let the third person be on the podcast with us. Okay,
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the least you could do.
Yeah.
You really, you really just want to keep things, kind of grooving if you're all going to be on that island for a while.
You don't want any strife. You don't want that person
drama. No drama.
Feeling left out of your personal podcast thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's next?
Anyway, we've got another call.
Yo, what up? I'm calling back. Got another song to sing. What's the song about this time? I don't know. It's Bug Snacks. Whoa, whoa, Bug Snacks. Whoa, whoa. Talking about Bug Snacks.
Everybody's talking about Bug Snacks.
But He's talking about Bugsnax. I guess that was it.
That's it.
All right. Well, that's, again, just wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad Bugsnax is able to weasel its way in.
Yeah. Big thanks from Peters for not being afraid to sing on the show. We appreciate that.
Oh, man. It's so much better than when it's not me.
Yeah. We got a tweet from @r_Kasahara, and their tweet says, "Why?"
Why?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's like
that's
not
it.
even
That's
a question mark on it.
No, there's no. What's the word called? No, not parentheses, not quotations.
A question mark.
Yeah, but what is that called?
It's like punctuation.
Punctuation. That's the word.
Punctuation. Okay, I see what you're going for. There's not even like ...
Right.
They're not even like trailing off. It's just can why ever be like a statement? I mean, because it's got to be a question.
Yeah, it's a question mark implied, perhaps.
I think so.
It's definitely inferred.
Why? Possibly the quintessential question.
Why? Exclamation point. Why? No, it's still kind of a question when you say it that way.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't answer a question with why.
Can't answer a question with a question.
Yeah. What a useless word.
Why what? Why,
yes.
Why so many things? Gestures broadly at everything.
Why all of this?
Why all of these things? Yeah. The world may never know.
Why not?
I certainly don't know.
Obi hide in the chat. Yeah. Although I like that. That's kind of a positive.
Why not,
spin-off.
Indeed?
Why not?
Yes.
Why not? That's actually so. I mean, so obviously the smart ass answer to this is just because.
Right.
But I like why not as an answer because it feels just so much more optimistic. Like there's so much more possibility. If you just say why, because it's almost like you're scolding someone.
Because I said so. Because your mother said so.
Because I said so. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. That's not a good answer.
But why not?
But why not? Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Why all these crazy things? Why not?
Why not?
We'll appreciate things more later when these crazy things are not happening. So why not go through this now so that we can be happy later?
Well, I don't know what you're getting at there. That sounds like you're talking about specific things happening. But why not?
So thank you for that.
Why not? Thank you for that, or Kasahara, if that is your real name.
And then, just last but not least, we have another call.
Hey guys, this is Chris from Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm just calling to say that you guys have an incredible podcast, and I love listening every week. Here's my question. As we get older, especially around this time of year, we like to look back and reflect on things we wish we could have done differently. What video game, if you had the chance, would you have a complete redo of? Say like an old game that you loved growing up as a kid, but it wasn't really loved by critics or by other people, and you wanted to give that studio another chance to redo it with today's graphics and today's capabilities. So what game would you give a redo? Thanks, guys. As always, you guys are incredible.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much, Chris from Fairbanks, Alaska.
That's nice for my ego. Thank you.
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed listening to the show.
You're incredible too, Chris.
You're breathtaking. Did I do it right?
I think that's exactly how that goes. Yeah, good job.
Excellent. You're breathtaking. I want to answer Miz in the chat before we get further. I'm drinking one of these. It's a cloud. It's the number 2 beer in Korea, we've decided. But anyway, back to Chris's lovely question.
Yeah. What video game, if you had a chance, would you have a complete redo of?
Easy answer for me. Well, actually not so easy.
I think, man, a lot of the video games, and I don't go back nearly as far as DJ does, but like I think a lot of the video games that I liked have been updated, have been rebooted or up-resed or whatever. So there's not a lot left to like pick from, I feel like.
Which ones have already been redone?
I think like the the Spyros and the Sly Coopers and just every Mario game ever for the most part. It's things like that. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of like that kind of old stuff to mine anymore. I'm sure there's little secret games, little hidden games, oddball things. And maybe that's what his question is here, is a game you loved as a kid but didn't really click with everybody else. I don't know. That's a tough one.
The thing, okay, so that stipulation kind of like throws a wrench on the whole thing. the fact that it seems like part of this question is like, by having this redo, it is suddenly like appeals to a much wider audience that didn't notice it previously.
Yeah.
So the game I was gonna pick, if I did a remake of it, I don't know if it would still appeal to like a wider audience, but if I was gonna pick one game, I would go with my favorite game of all time, which is Vagrant Story for the PlayStation 1, which was it's kind of like a dungeon crawler. Just there was a lot going on in that game. There are a lot of systems you have to deal with. It's very obtuse to the point where it was almost unplayable at times. But man, just everything about
that sounds delightful.
Yeah, I know, it was great. It was my ideal game. It was just like the story was incredible, the writing, the music, the atmosphere. Oh man, it was so good. But like I said, it was like incomprehensible at a lot of places. And it's kind of still stuck on the PS1. They've never, it's never even come up as like a candidate for a remake or anything. But I think it's so good.
Well, there you go.
So I would love don't do the whole reimagining thing or anything. Just kind of like up-res the graphics or whatever. Like pretty it up a little bit.
You don't want it messed with too much.
Don't mess with it too much. Just maybe make the battle system a little more palatable for people. Because I'll admit, I love this game. I had a real hard time getting through it the first time. But just I just want more people to experience this game. Again, that's Vagrant Story on the PlayStation 1.
Go find yourself a copy.
By Yasumi Matsuno. I think, man, PS4 still doesn't play PS1 games, right? So if you have no. If you have like a PS3 or like a Vita, probably you can play it. And I feel like it's still pretty good. Man, the story was just so far beyond what other developers were doing at that point.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know if I have an answer. I mean, I loved Kid Icarus as a kid. It was one of the few games that I remember sort of fondly on the NES. Yeah, and game's not aged well. I tried to play it again, I think a year or two ago, and it's really just impossible. And I thought
that was rough. Yeah,
the remake that they did of that on the 3DS, like a lot of people loved, but I thought was so far away from the source that I just didn't even recognize it anymore. So, I mean, that's always the threat of that, right? Is that somebody will sort of run with it too far and make it something that's completely alien.
Yeah, man, I thought that 3DS one was so good. I love that one.
Yeah, I didn't do anything for me. Except give me carpal tunnel syndrome.
Except, yeah, that would be a good candidate also. I feel like if you could play it on something where you didn't have to do the weird, hand cramping controls.
Claw, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another game where I want more people to play that one. But it was physically difficult for people to enjoy.
MEZ in the chat says just remake Half-Life.
I would Half-Life.
Yeah.
Man, MEZ, have you played Black Mesa, which came out earlier this year? That's actually, it's like every December I put together a list of games where I'm like, oh, I wish I had played that this year. And it's actually, so the list for me this year is Yakuza 7, which I'm getting through right now, and then Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Black Mesa. Because I hear that's extremely good. And I don't have a VR setup, so I can't play Half-Life Alyx. So I feel like that's the closest I'm going to get. But I hear that's very good.
All right, well, I think that about does it, right? We are out of questions, aren't we?
Wait, what was your answer? It was Kid Icarus?
I don't have an answer.
You don't have one?
I don't know if I have an old video game that I would love to see resurrected. I wanted, what would I want? I wanted, I don't even remember the name of it anymore. Medieval. I wanted Medieval to get updated, and they updated it, and it was not good. Yeah, it was good. It's not a good game.
Was it not a good update, or was it just never good to begin with?
I think maybe I certainly liked it when I was younger, but I think it didn't update it far enough. I think it was still like real broken and real hard to play, and the camera was kind of crappy, and it still just sort of felt like you were playing an old PS1 game. So they didn't maybe go far enough with it or make it sort of modern enough to be appreciated.
Games have come so far since. I mean, games are so different than they were in the PS1 generation, and that goes without saying. But
yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of surprising going back to games from that era and just being like, oh man, this is like, we put up with this? Okay.
It's amazing how many sort of crappy cameras you tolerate in old video games.
Yeah. Twisted Cage 2 says that Hatsworth game. See that, was it Henry Hatsworth?
Henry Hatsworth, yeah, in the Puzzling Adventure or something like that.
I never played that one. Is that due for a remake?
I don't know. It was really tough. It was you were playing two separate games simultaneously. One was a platformer, one was a puzzle game. It was really hard.
I'll have to check that one out. We'll see. Oh man. Okay, I think that was it. That was the last question.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
What do we do now?
Well, I gotta finish this beer, and we gotta roll credits on this thing, right?
Gotta roll credits. I think that's it. I think we did it.
All right. Well, if you need any more video game hangover in your brain, well, first, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate everybody in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
And Ember in the chat says shots. So that would be the crazy grand finale. Yeah.
Oh my God. Should we do shots?
I don't have anything that I could shot. Can I shot this beer?
That feels very underwhelming. Unless you're gonna like shotgun it.
Just spoonfuls of peanut butter.
Yeah. Oh, peanut butter shot. Disgusting.
All right. So yeah, thank you. We adore you guys. Man, DJ and I would probably still get together every week and talk about video games, but the fact that anybody continues to listen to it and interacts with us and hangs out in the Discord and sends us questions for our year-end show remains just flattering and insane to us. So thank you guys so much for participating in this crazy thing that we do.
I like that you're volunteering that, because I feel like it would be like, hey, Randy, guess what I did in Final Fantasy this week? And you'd just be like, Jesus, this is this guy again. He's still, I haven't changed my phone number yet. How does he keep finding me?
I would just need to mute you on Twitter. I'm like, this Final Fantasy guy again. God,
how does he do it?
It's too much. But yeah, so yeah, the fact that anybody participates in this thing means the world to us. And we've awesome people in our chat right now saying thank you so much, and thanks for a great year, and thanks for the Drunktacular.
Yes.
Twisted Cage says roll credits. So yeah, we're gonna roll credits.
Oh man, I did not prepare a credits roll. I mean, it's just two people at this point. So
right, exactly. Written and produced by.
Yeah.
If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, you should follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/VGHangover. You can always get show notes, links, and tell us what you thought about this episode at VGHangover.com. And we would encourage you to join our Discord. Man, we cannot hype the Discord enough. Go hang out with us there. You get the link to that at VGHangover.com.
Do it.
And subscribe, rate, and review us. iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any of the other 4,000 apps that play podcasts and play video game podcasts. You should definitely subscribe to us there. And tell your friends about us. If you're getting together with your nerdy little friends for like a pre-Christmas hang on Zoom, not in real life. Don't do that in real life. Do it on Zoom. Tell your friends about this awesome podcast that you listen to.
Tell them. Just be that guy. It's like, oh man.
And
guy shows up at our Christmas party every year just to talk about the podcast.
Just to make sure people listen to his podcast,
yeah. All right. We want to say, so again, thank you so much for listening to us during 2020. It's been quite a year. But this has been a highlight, I think, in both of our weeks being able to do the show.
Definitely.
Let me,
You're right, TJ. Are you hanging in there? You keep together?
I'm doing all right.
I'm sweating a little bit. It's getting warm. Are you?
I'm sweating. No, the hat's doing all right. This is good. This may be just a permanent thing.
It's gonna just bury you in the hat.
We want to say we are going to be on a little bit of a break during the holidays. We're going to take a couple of weeks off. So I don't know.
Don't stress. We'll be back.
Don't freak out. We'll be back. We'll have full episodes back on January 7th.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll probably drop a couple little mini episodes into the feed just so you have something to listen to every week.
And just so you don't unsubscribe.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But yeah, we'll be back in 2021 for apparently the 11th year of the show. That's frightening.
Jeez.
And then I just put this note in here because I always forget to mention this, but Awesome Games Done Quick is an amazing event. I love it. I'm a huge fan. It is it's a 24-hour, week-long speedrunning for charity. Oh man, I'm feeling good at this point in the show. It's going to be from January 3rd to the 10th at gamesdonequick.com. So please check it out. I'll probably be tuning in. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't watched it before, even if it doesn't sound like something you'd be interested in, just take a look at what they're going to be playing, take a look at the schedule, find some game that sounds interesting to you, and try and tune in. Because it's like, if you've never seen like career speedrunners play through these games, it's a sight to see. So I highly recommend it, and it's for a good cause. They I forget who they're supporting this year. It's usually like Prevent Cancer Foundation or Doctors Without Borders. So it's really good.
Awesome.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah. They were at PAX East this year. They and that was kind of one of the first times that I had really seen sort of what they do. And you might think, I've played Mario before or whatever, but watching speedrunners play some of these games is like a whole different game experience. So
yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, we'll be back on the 7th. That will be our favorite games of 2020 episode. So we will start the year looking back on some of our favorites from this crazy year. And then sort of every week after that. So definitely tune in on the 7th for that. And we certainly hope everybody has an awesome new year. Happy holidays to those of you celebrating holidays. Stay safe. Wear your mask.
Yes, wash your hands.
Wash your hands. All of those things. And we hope you get good presents. Yeah, we'll see you soon. This is Randy Dickinson.
This is DJ Ross.
Thanks for listening to Video Game Hangover. Goodbye.
Good night.
See ya.
Water in the fire, why? Water in the fire, why? Not to understand. No!
That's your brain.